So starting off with cutting up some potatoes might seem a little out of character for my videos since I do eat low carb. My family does not. They love potatoes. So guess what I did? I just didn't eat the potatoes, but they did. They loved them. So this recipe was really, really good. All I did was chop up some potatoes, and then you have to make the mixture that goes on top of everything. So it's just 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, 1 cup of milk, a 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream, and then I also added a little bit of garlic. I don't measure garlic in my house, so I just did like a big plop, and then you mix it up really well. It looks disgusting after you mix it, but trust me, it's gonna be awesome. After I got that all mixed up, I just cut up 1 onion and added it to the top of the potatoes, and then 1 whole package of sliced mushrooms and added that right on top of the onions. Then I seasoned it liberally with my favorite seasoning, the Montreal steak seasoning. Once you're ready to put everything together, you pour half of the mixture on top of your potatoes, onions, and mushrooms, and then put a cup of cheese. Then you add your pork chops, and mine were frozen solid. Then you top your pork chops with the rest of that mixture, and then you just add another cup of cheese. So I ended up cooking mine for 10 hours on low. It was just a really long work day for me, and that was fine. They turned out perfect. But you can cook these on low for 6 to 8 hours or high for 4 to 6 hours, and you're gonna be golden. Either way, it was absolutely delicious. Okay, so I'm home from work. This cooked for about 10 hours, and it looks really good, really cheesy. If you saw earlier, the pork chops were like frozen together. This morning they were frozen solid. They're cooked all the way through. When I went to separate them, they were just falling apart tender. So, and I've already had several bites. It's delicious. There's a lot of mushrooms in here, some potatoes, and then the meat is just like super tender and perfectly cooked. And cheese. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Anyway, so that was a win in my book. So this accidentally turned into a crock pot video real quick. Sorry about that, but it's just what's easy for me when I have to work, just putting something in the morning and coming home and having a delicious meal ready to serve to my family. So this is a pretty large chuck roast. It is frozen solid. As you can see, there's still ice on it, and it would barely fit in my crock pot. So I just stuck that in there as best as I could. I chopped up 1 onion and just put that on top of it, seasoned it with salt and pepper. I had some beef broth left in my refrigerator from a recipe that I did earlier in the week, so I just added the rest of that, probably about a cup, maybe a little bit less. Then I added some Worcestershire and some soy sauce. And then this is the kicker, 1 can of beef consomme, and you cover this and you can cook it all day while you're at work. I ended up cooking mine for like 8 hours on low, and it was ridiculously soft and tender. So you can do it on low for 6 to 8 hours or however long you need to do it. And you can also do it on high for 4 to 6. When I got home from work and opened it up, I could just see bones like floating in the top of the liquid. So it was so tender that it just separated itself from the bones. So it was really easy to shred up. I thought I was gonna have to use a knife or a fork, but I didn't. I ended up just using plastic tongs and my fingers, and it separated super easy. So once I got it all shredded up, I just added it back into my crock pot, into all those juices that it had created, and just kind of let it soak up the juice for a little while. And then I made like French dip sandwiches with it, like with the meat. I didn't eat the bread, obviously. I did low carb again this night, but I did end up making French dip sandwiches for my husband and for my daughters. One of my daughters did not want the meat on it. She just wanted like garlic bread. So you'll see here in a minute, I ended up just cutting one of these loaves in half, putting some butter and some garlic salt, and just cooked that along with it. But as far as the French dip sandwiches went, I just put some meat and some of the juices inside of one of these sliced loaves of bread, and then added some provolone cheese. I stuck these under the broiler in my oven for like maybe a minute or two. And then for my husband, I served a little bit of the sauce on the side so that he could dip his sandwiches. And I just had a bowl of this meat with like some pepperoncinis and some cheese on top. And it was really, really good. Okay, last crock pot meal, I promise, for this video, maybe. So we had just some frozen pulled pork in our freezer. So I defrosted that a little bit and then I stuck it in the crock pot. And then I found this barbecue sauce. It's from Walden Farms. It's 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 carbs, and 0 sugar. So I just poured that all over the top and reheated this pulled pork in our crock pot. I was really excited to find this barbecue sauce. I've always used the Stubbs sugar-free barbecue sauce, but this was really good. So then all I did was put this on top of a sweet potato, which I know sweet potatoes have carbs, but I feel like it's a little better option or a little healthier option than just a regular potato. Then I put some plain Greek yogurt on top. I typically use that as a substitution for sour cream, and topped it with cheese, and that's what we had for dinner this night. All right, for dinner tonight, I've got 2 little helpers with me. This one's under the weather, so she's been home all day from school. And this one's just, this one over here is just wild and crazy. Anyway, so tonight we are gonna make some low carb pulled pork flautas. So I've got these carb chopper tortillas right here. They're the wheat tortillas. They're 4 net carbs a piece. I have some leftover pulled pork from our barbecue pulled pork yesterday. I'm gonna put some cheddar cheese in them, and then I've got a hot skillet over here. I know it is. So I think what I'm gonna do is cut these in half so they're not just like super thick with tortilla. I'm gonna put some pork and cheese, and then I'm just gonna roll them up real tight and small and stick them over here. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so this one turned out pretty good. I mean, it could be better, but you know, first try. So I'm gonna put several of them together and then put like 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 in there at the same time so we can speed up the process a little bit. But it's crispy and it looks pretty good. I'm pretty good with that. That got pretty smoky pretty fast. So I've got the vent on up here. These are looking pretty good. I had to turn on our fan in here, open the front door, and oh, it's smoky, and open the back door. And I have 2 lurking pups here that are being very good and not coming inside. So yikes. Hopefully the smoke alarm won't go off because it's very loud and it starts yelling, evacuate, evacuate. So. So I'm gonna try to make tuna cakes tonight. I've never made them successfully before. All I did was put 6 cans of tuna in here. I drained them. It was the tuna in water. I tried to drain them really, really well and get all the moisture out. And then I added some lime juice, 2 eggs, just a spoonful of mayonnaise, Hellmann's mayonnaise, salt and pepper. I believe that's it. And mixed it up really, really well. And all I'm gonna do is do like a couple at a time in a hot skillet and hope that they fry up well. And then we're gonna put them on top of the salad. Hello, it is January 14th. It is about 6:15 in the evening, and I just tested positive for COVID. So that is a bummer. This is the first time anyone in our family has had it. So that's insane that we've gone almost 2 years and no one has had it in my immediate family. And currently I'm the only person with it. It's going wild at school. We had a ton of kids out today. We've got teachers out. I've had a couple of my personal students test positive, so I kind of knew it was coming. I've had a headache the past couple of days and like a little bit of a sore throat, but nothing too serious. And then today my breathing started getting not labored, but just it's been hard to like make my breath go over the top, like getting a good deep breath. And also I ate a mint after lunch, an icebreaker mint, and I eat them every day and it tasted like Windex. So I knew that something was going on and I tested and sure enough I was positive. So TEA just changed its protocol and teachers only have to quarantine for 5 days or until our symptoms are gone. However, students have to quarantine for 10 days. So I can return back to work next Wednesday. So I'm not even gonna be out a full week. Hopefully my symptoms will go away and I'll feel okay to go back to work. Excuse me, I'm so tired. But my daughter has to quarantine for 10 days, even though she has not tested positive. She's been exposed, so I won't comment on that. But anyway, she's got to be out longer than me, so she'll go back the following Monday. Here comes a child now. Anyway, but I'm starting to feel pretty bad. I'm gonna go to bed early and just try to rest and eat if I can. I've heard some people get really, really bad symptoms where they're throwing up and stuff. So I hope that I don't get those. I hope it just stays with like fatigue and a sore throat and the taste and smell thing. And I hope that my lungs and my breathing stay okay. They're a little funky right now, but it's not too bad. So anyway, I just wanted to update everyone. I weighed in at 170.2 pounds this morning and now I have COVID. So there's no telling what my weight is gonna do over the next week. And I'm not gonna be too terribly worried about it. I'm not gonna work out or anything over this next 5 to 10 days. And I'll just eat as this allows, so we'll see. Anyway, stay safe out there and I'll keep you updated. All right, so today is Wednesday, January 19th. Today was my first day back at school. I just got home. It is almost 5. And although I am exhausted, my heart feels happy. My students were so happy to see me. They missed me. I missed them. I was so happy to see them. I had after school tutorials today. So I had my sweet little tutorial group and just made me happy to be back. So I didn't film at all yesterday on the 18th. I had a lot more energy and I sanitized my entire home with Clorox wipes, like every doorknob, cabinet knob, toilet flusher. What is that called? Toilet flusher? I don't know. We did our computers, our phones, toothbrushes, everything, like literally everything. The banisters going upstairs and downstairs, remotes, light switches, just everything. Anything that we touch, I did. And then I just went ahead and did all the surfaces as well and then sprayed Lysol spray on everything that I couldn't wipe down. So my house is sanitized. Went ahead and washed everybody's sheets, washed all of our stuffed animals, did all of our laundry, just hoping to get rid of all of the germs in our house. I did my car as well. So our house feels really clean and safe again. And then this morning when I got to class, we sanitized everything. Our school sanitizes as well. They spray like a liquid sanitizer 2 days a week. But I went ahead, I had my students just sanitize everything, like their desktops, all their books, their Chromebooks, And then we sanitized around my classroom, all the cabinets, the smart board, all the books in our room, doorknobs, light switches, all the things. So my house and my classroom are sanitized. And then everybody wore a mask today at school. Like I think every single one of my students did, which isn't normal. They don't always, but I was wearing one today, so they also wanted to wear theirs. It's great. I'm gonna continue to wear mine. And I had 4 kids out, which, you know, I have 20 total, so 4 out is a pretty big number. And I'm hoping that the numbers don't just continue to rise throughout the week, but I am back. And we have a chance of snow tomorrow, so everyone's praying for like a late start or canceled, but I doubt that that's gonna happen, so we'll see.